Everyone, thank you for joining me. It is AKAPAD's Audio Audacity. I'm your host, the world sketchbook champ, the eclectic one, your spicy taco. It's Wonder Woman Bloodlines, more animation, more Wonder Woman. Everyone's going crazy for this girl. Let's get into it and talk the greatest female superhero. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. So everyone, we're marching along. I was just doing some of my filing, and I had to double check a few times because I kept filing things under like 250, 251, 252. Didn't realize, had to catch myself that it's actually 350. So all of you, thank you. And going into the new year, going into 2021, thank you so much for sticking with me on this journey, because it is a journey and I'm playing the long ball. I'm playing the long ball in this form of film discussion, film commentary, film like cinephile, you want to call me, because, and here's the thing, I was going to sell you some things on Indiegogo and Etsy, for you to support your boy, but I'll just put those links in the description. Some comics, if you want to read some cool comics created by yours truly, SUZI and Trial by Fire, go check those out. So I just want to get into this because I realized something huge when I was watching this. I literally was watching the unfolding of the new Wonder Woman mythology, and it has nothing to do with the Wonder Woman character. How's that for nuts? It has nothing to do with Patty Jenkins, who really made the character relevant. And a little a little handoff from Zack Snyder, because I think Zack Snyder had the foresight to put a certain version of Wonder Woman in front of our eyes with Batman vs Superman. That movie clearly could have existed without Wonder Woman. Okay, that movie, there was so much in that movie. There was so much wonderful deception by Lex Luthor. The best deception by any Lex Luthor we've seen in cinema. And this is one of those reasons why I completely back that movie, on a very, very high level. Give me 1 second here, people. I'm having some audio issues. Okay. I think we're back. I don't know. The audio slowly was rising and snapping. So, but we're back. So the big concept is that Wonder Woman, as a starting off point, just as a character, being introduced, never really had a good, foundation for that. Not until recent time, and we kind of have to thank Steve Trevor. We have to thank Chris Pine's character and Chris Pine's performance in Wonder Woman, because one of the biggest draws of the Wonder Woman live action movie was Chris Pine's chemistry with Gal Gadot. I mean, we have to own up to that. We really have to kind of just say, look, that movie was as good as it was because of the ending. What happens at the very end when he sacrifices himself, and we felt the loss that Wonder Woman had for him. So now with every single version of Wonder Woman, a new interpretation, we now have a baseline. Now, this is very similar to, it's a comic book trope, but there's a lot of elements that get passed on and whittled down from version to version. For a good example would be the X-Men. Every single X-Men story really needs to begin with a female getting introduced into the Xavier School and kind of going through these motions of discovering what the X-Men are all about, what they do, and you kind of figure that out within 5-10 minutes, or if it's a comic book, within a couple panels. So Wonder Woman never had something so well boiled down. We take it for granted when we see it. We take it for granted for Superman. We know the beats of the origin, the Dark Knight, so on and so forth. I believe other characters like Aquaman, we do not have a boiled down origin of him. If someone else were to do Aquaman, like another Aquaman movie or TV show or animated something, it would be a different like origin. It would be a different take, and it wouldn't really be mapped out. Chris Pine completely transformed one of the oldest intellectual property, one of the oldest characters in human history. Like just when it comes to even the longevity and the popularity of Wonder Woman. Chris Pine did that. And this movie like gives us another origin of their relationship. They're connected a little bit differently. They find each other a little bit differently. And it's not that it's not different, but it's different enough. And that's what these animated movies do. They because you gotta do something and you gotta, like do the beats and there you go. Like it's not very complicated, but it was solidified with Wonder Woman Bloodlines 2019. This is a fun, crazy, again, going all in on the god stuff. We have a giant Medusa, marching through Themyscira, just slaughtering people left and right. And Wonder Woman blinds herself with snake venom from Medusa's hair to fight Medusa blind. We have the Silver Swan, which is a amazing character. Dr. Cyber, amazing character. We have these like new takes and fresh ideas. We have an awesome cheetah. Audio issues left and right over here. I don't know, like nothing changes. Your boy over here just sits down in the AKAPAD production studio in Center City, Philadelphia, and whatever. Okay, so, but no, like this movie goes all in on the God stuff, and I kind of say that because it does contrast everything with the 2 live action Wonder Womans, the 3 live action Gal Gadot interpretations. I can't speak so much for the television series, but that's going to be our next episode. Episode 354 is the next episode. So here's the thing too. When we think about Wonder Woman, we now have like this imagery. We now have a little bit of a mosaic, and we see this connective tissue that we can visualize and expect. And this does help when we sit down to watch this. Now, it does develop a storytelling failure. And we're seeing this with WandaVision right now. The prerequisite, okay? Having to have a PhD in something to enjoy it is a failure of that storyline. But these animated movies fill in the blanks very quickly, and they skew it a little bit because there's no roadmap. Warner Brothers and DC found a path with this type of format, and it proved very successful. I mean, on average, there's been 36, 37, I think it might have been, we'll just say 40 of these movies. The minimum will make $3 to $4 million. And you can just do the math from there. They're very profitable. I mean, to the point of DC, Warner Brothers Animation is essentially DC Animation. DC has completely taken over Warner Brothers Animation. Our director for this, same Lou. He's from 90s comics. He's from the Extreme Studio, the Extreme comic book era, the school of Rob Liefeld. He understands character, story. It seems like he lets his storyboard artists breathe, because we do have interesting shots. We have different interesting movements. One of the best sequences for this movie is when they finally get their invisible airplane, like military cloak one. But that's the cool thing with Wonder Woman. We will always have a different interpretation, a different delivery of the invisible jet. In 1984, it was magic. This is military technology. It's all the same. Okay, it really doesn't quite matter. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that they really do commit to that also. And I say commit to the bit a lot, because what I mean by that is like they go all in on the concepts that breed and thrive like through these characters. There's like a blood that goes into some of these storylines. And these creators, they know what they're delivering, and they do their very best to like hit it home. So like this movie gives us a slightly different Steve Trevor. It gives us a slightly different Diana Troy. And it works. It's awesome. Another good movie that deals with loss. There's some amazing loss in this. Now, this isn't as much of a watch as 352, but it complements everything. I mean, you can watch Wonder Woman 1984, and these two animated movies, and you're just like in awe at the spectacle and what makes Wonder Woman cool, because I think they finally figured it out. And it took them 60 years. We gotta admit that it took them 60 years to figure out how well Wonder Woman works. So this movie just delivers a lot of things, a lot of beats on a lot of different levels. The character design and the way how we're animating our protagonist, Wonder Woman, her line work, the facial line work is just, it's immaculate. I would say it's near perfect. Of all the Wonder Woman models, okay, not model like photograph model, model drawing models. Because you gotta sit down and you gotta make like your master or your prime like drawings that everyone else would draw from. What they decided to do with her on the line work sense, on the illustration sense, on the problem solving sense is probably the best. This is the best looking animated Wonder Woman. And we're also dealing with the newer Wonder Woman costume, okay, where it's blue, silver, and red, okay, or maroon. It's like dark blue, dark red, and silver. So you might want to call this like the new 52 version. This does look like it looks and feels like a version of Wonder Woman that is from the Justice League, Flashpoint, Justice League Paradox, our previously discussed animated movies. This does fit within that universe. It gives us a little bit more detail of how Wonder Woman came to the shores, like her relationship with, New Yorkers, I guess you can say, because she always ends up in New York City. And, this movie's not heavy-handed on any political feminism, activism type stuff, which is good. But you do need some of it with Wonder Woman. You do. And I think they do it well. Like, you gotta say, look, you can't let that stuff destroy the movie and destroy the story. When it's too heavy-handed, call it out. But when it's not, and it's light, sure, like it fits and it feels a little bit more natural within the narrative, because like you're going into a dream state. You're zoning out when you watch some of these movies. That's the magic of movies. And look, whenever I watch these things, it's like lights out, no distractions, and I completely focus, because I want to be transported. And thank God I'm able to do that even in the time of COVID. But everyone, next episode 354, we're doing Wonder Woman, the live action 80s television series. Okay, that's all you gotta know. I've never seen it before, and thank you HBO Max, thank you DC. I will, we'll discuss it. I will watch them. And then a little bit of a show note. I'm going to get back full effort 9 a.m. release drops, even though the 9 p.m. drops seem to do better. So I'm going to do one episode drop either by 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. or after 9 p.m. during the weekdays. But, if you got any ideas with that, drop me a line. Everyone, thanks for hanging out. I love you, and rock and roll.